Welcome back to the best morning show in town. This is the AM Club. We are live on MX24 TV. Let me remind you that MX24's Crocs It Out campaign is still on. Now, MX24 in partnership with Leicester Hospital, Medifirm Hospital, Focus Orthopedic Hospital and Holy Trinity Medical Center is offering you free breast screening. Walk into any of these hospitals to get your breast screened for free, and you also stand a chance of winning amazing prizes. But now it's time for Lifestyle Daily, the second segment of the show. We are talking about the advantages of being multilingual. Now, multilingualism is the ability to speak more than two different languages fluently. Knowing more than one language from birth, acquiring a new language through school, or learning languages later in life can provide tangible advantages in many areas. Regardless of the industry you work in, learning a second or third language can be extremely beneficial, not only for career development, but also your overall well-being. But before we get into the conversation, remember, you are a major part of the show. Tell us the number of languages you speak currently. I speak just one, and I'm managing French small. But how difficult or easy was it for you to learn a new language? Please send your experiences and your reactions to our conversation to our WhatsApp line 0550-331-511, 0550-331-511. Or tweet at us at MX24GH with the hashtag the AM Club. Edma is standing by with that conversation. Edma.
Thank you very much, Godwin, for that. So joining us on this conversation, we have Charles Benny, who is a linguist and English and Chinese translator. And joining us via Zoom, we have Professor Evershed Kwesi Amuzu, who is also a linguist, director of the Language Center, University of Ghana. Welcome, gentlemen, to the AM Club. Hello, Prof. If you're here, can you please hear me? Okay, so before we connect to Prof, let me just come to you, Charles. Well, welcome to the AM Club.
Oh, thank you.
So today we're going to talk about the advantages of being multilingual, and a lot of people would agree that it comes with a lot of benefits. But now we also want to just talk more about the advantages of being multilingual. So you being an English and Chinese translator, tell us a bit more about how that has benefited you as a person. You as a person.
Okay, me being a Chinese English bilingual, actually it's not easy to study another language. Okay, and it has helped me in terms of my social life.
Yeah.
And traveling around the world, mingling with people so easy. And actually, I can't say having a job opportunity because normally people will say if you're able to speak other languages, you have the opportunity to be a translator or interpreter. But having the knowledge about the social and the cultural of that institution or the company could help you even do better than you just being a translator.
Yeah.
Okay, and it has really helped me, like in the security wise. Sometimes you go to other places and you intend not to speak language at all because we're willing to know the kind of people they are. So sometimes they try to gossip about you or try to blackmail you. So then you'll be able to know, oh, this is what they want to do.
Exactly.
So it really helps a lot.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
Okay.
And
okay. So Prof, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, Prof. Okay, so
good morning to
okay.
Good morning to you and to your viewers.
Thank you very much. So apart from the fact that languages, help communicate with each other, how important is it when it comes to cultural awareness?
Yes, so as your guest was saying, so languages are closely tied to cultures, the ways of life of people. So when you get to learn another group's language, you will naturally also get to understand their way of life and how they think in ways that may be different from yours. So you are more likely to get to understand when we say where they are coming from, more. So you become a little more accommodating to other people than if you were not bilingual or multilingual.
Okay, and of course, when it comes to forming global relationship through language, how important is it as well? I studied international relations, so I know how countries form alliances between each other. But then, when it comes to language, how important is it when it comes to global relationship?
Yeah, so we have two categories of language that we add. We normally add to what we have. So one of them is language of social mobility. So like the international languages and official languages and so on. The other one is the languages of geographical mobility, the lingua franca that you have in your locality. So regional majority languages and so on. So the international language that you may have added falls into that other category of social mobility.
Okay.
So definitely when countries have to communicate, meet, and so on, there should be one language that they should use. So when someone is bilingual, multilingual in those languages, definitely then communication becomes easy for them at that level.
Yeah.
Because the absence of having the other language that the other people speak at that level is that you have to depend on interpreters.
Yes.
People who then interpret what you say, and you may not know exactly what they are saying. Whether it is exactly what you intend to say. So if you are saying it yourself, then you are good to go. You know exactly what they also mean when they talk.
Yeah. When it comes to, Charles, let me come back to you here in studio. When it comes to learning languages here in Ghana, in our part of the world, you hear so many stories, especially when it comes to French. I've had so many people come to me that, oh, no, I did not like my French professor. They used to cane us. We didn't understand what he was saying. But then how do we make language what's the word for it? How do we make language more appealing to students here in Ghana?
All right, what you said was true. Okay. I also had this encounter. I was studying French at school, and
why is it just French? Is it because French is the only language that you learn in Ghana here? Or?
That's the only foreign language we learn in Ghana. Aside English.
Yeah.
So normally the French teachers here are very harsh. So guys won't like to stay in class, and sometimes it even puts them off from studying the language.
Yeah.
And I think the best way to study a language is to go to where the language is being spoken.
Absolutely.
Because when you learn French or let's say Spanish, you can't practice.
Yeah.
Like you just learn like learning something like bookish. So it's very best to go to where the language is being spoken, so that you can practice daily.
Yeah.
It's going to help you with the spoken, listening, and everything.
Yeah. So is that how easy it was for you to learn Mandarin,
yes,
right?
Please.
Because you went to China. Okay, so how did you learn the language? Because I tried, and my little sister can't speak Mandarin, and she learned at school. But then I tried, and it was so difficult. So how did you learn?
For me, I went to study in China.
Okay.
And it's one of the requirements for you to learn Mandarin before you start your main course. And actually, my main program was in Chinese, so it's an obligation for me to learn. We have levels of just like TOEFL and SAT and all those things. We have the level 4. The highest level is level 6. So you have to pass through level 4 before you can start your master's. So it's something that I have to do it. It's something that I have to force myself, because if I don't do it, I can't start my master's. And the environment was also helping me as well. After class, you can go out.
And you have friends and all of that.
And normally, those friends are not English-speaking friends. They also speak Russian or other kinds, but they try to make the Chinese their common language. So we all try to mingle and try to speak the language. So this really helped us.
Okay. Prof, let me come back to you. So we've heard a lot of statements such as when you reach a certain age, it's very hard for you to adapt or to learn a different language. How true is that?
Before I get to that, let me correct an impression that you do not need to travel to the country of a language in order to learn it. Here at the University of Ghana, we have the School of Languages. We have a modern languages department where for decades now we've been teaching Spanish, Russian, Swahili, French, and recently we added Chinese. There are experts here who teach the languages, these languages. So what they do is after teaching them across first 2-3 years, then the students travel to the home country of the language and study get to use the language and return to graduate. So we all don't have to go to the country of the host country to learn the language from scratch. So we've been doing that for decades now. Your question is whether how difficult is it for adults, or why is it difficult for adults?
Yeah, I mean, there's this. So yeah, please go on.
Yeah, so obviously children have easy ways to get to learn language because they are peer group. So they learn languages very easily from speaking to their own peers, people of their age. They spend so much time doing that. So the man hours they may spend with their peers allows them to pick up language very easily. An adult going into a new community to learn the language, to be part of, we call it re-socialization, may find it a lot more difficult because the circumstances in which he will learn the language may be minimal compared to the child. And so, because we don't just learn languages, you learn languages in particular contexts. So we have something called domains of language usage and agents of language utilization. So you learn language at home. That's what we call your home language, your mother tongue. But you also go out in the community and learn a language there. And what is the community? You're talking about trading environments. You're talking about other activities in the community, like the church, like other, just along the street and so on. So you have circumstances in which you will encounter another group who speak a different language from yours, and then you pick their language through practice. So for an adult, it is a lot more difficult to find yourself in the environment, in that circumstance where you are learning a language. The child goes into those spaces more readily and innocently commit the errors quickly and learn through those. And so for the adult, that type of complexity. So, but you imagine that an adult who finds himself or herself in a trading environment, an economic, with activities around you, they'll pick the language very readily. So you find that market women, traders who move around, they don't behave like the way you think that the adults find it difficult. They just readily learn the language, but their survival depends on, for example, learning that language.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And when it comes to teaching children a second language, how soon do you think it's good for them to learn a second language? Because per research, learning a second language when it comes to children can also improve their creativity and their minds and when it comes to thinking. So how soon should a child learn a second language?
There's no limit. Some children we know grow up bilingual from from day one. If you grow up in a bilingual home, you have so many celebrated bilinguals who are bilingual more or less from birth. Because the parents practice that kind of bilingualism with them. So there's no starting point. It is a resource. You come to the circumstance, you are lucky to find yourself in it. That is it. So we shouldn't think we should delay the starting point of learning another language for a child. Let them go as soon as the circumstances arise.
Okay, but this is a question from my own experience because I speak 3 languages. My first language is French, and then I speak 3, and my third language is English. So I did not know how to speak English prior to me moving to the UK. I knew quite a few words, but I could never formulate a sentence. But then when I moved to the UK, I had 2 years to do my GCSEs, so I had to learn how to speak English quite fast. And one thing that my teachers did was train me to think in English instead of thinking in French. So for example, if I'm in a shocking mood, or if I'm happy, or if I'm reacting quickly, my first thought should be in English and not in French. But then with that also, I noticed that it also sort of contradicted with my French, especially the fact that both languages come from Latin, and they have very similarities, a lot of similarities when it comes to the language itself. So would you say that maybe being bilingual or multilingual also can affect an individual, or there's a slight disadvantage from being multilingual or bilingual?
Okay, so what have been found is for those homes, for example, where parents speak 2 different languages and somehow expose their children to them. One parent may use one of the language consistently, the other language consistently, so that the child is able to speak more or less monolingually with either of them as they speak the language of choice. So that way, they become fluent independently in the 2 languages. So maybe when you experienced was a situation where you became confused as to which language to pick for use with an individual or on a particular occasion. So you were like more or less switching between them out of not having competence in either of them. So yes, so there are ways to regulate the situations for the child to be able to be sure of what language they are speaking at a particular time. So that's what maybe your teacher was doing, trying to guide you to focus on the use of one in a given circumstance.
Okay. So, Charles, which one do you speak the most? Is it Mandarin or English?
English.
English, okay. And would you say that you sometimes get confused when it comes to speaking some language? I mean, sometimes I would want to say something in English and I will end up saying it in French, or my pronunciation of certain words are not really, that good because of my accent and all of that. So have you ever found yourself in a position where
more often,
you just get confused sometimes when you're speaking, or your accent or the way you pronounce certain words just does not fit?
Yes. Normally I do speak Gan as well.
Okay.
And sometimes when I'm speaking to my friends, I instead of speaking Gan, I intend speaking Chinese.
Okay.
Because there are some of the words that look similar.
Yeah.
That's
okay. So how easy was it for you to learn Mandarin, or you wouldn't say it was easy? How quick did you pick it up?
It wasn't easy. So I have to wake up at night and studying, learning more vocabularies and practicing more, and trying to be serious with my books.
Yeah.
That was the way that helped me.
Okay, so let me quickly move to WhatsApp and read some of the messages coming in. This person said, hello, texting from Takrady. It's truly not easy learning different languages. Used to be a French student back in senior high school, and like our teacher was that hard on us. He makes the course so interesting but difficult in a way. Being multilingual is bougie. I can now speak 4 languages: Fanti, English and French. Well, kudos to you. Okay, so this person said, I'm Lawrence. I got the chance to learn Japanese after my national service. I think it's very good and interesting. I've not been to Japan before, but now I feel like I've been there for years. #DAM Club. Well, kudos to you as well. And this is from Faisal Champion Matudi. He said, I am doing well in French at the basic school, but for moving to senior school, I took a course that doesn't involve French lessons, and I ended up missing out on my passion and it hurts. So, Prof, very quickly, last question before we wrap up the conversation. Is it possible for you to forget a language? Just because maybe you're not speaking it as much or you're not having anybody to have a conversation with?
Oh, definitely. So language, having or retaining competence in language is through speaking it.
Yeah.
Often. So you might not forget the language entirely, but it becomes more like dormant because you no longer speak it for longer. So for example, I learned Norwegian when I did my MPhil in Oslo, and that's about 25 years ago. So you can imagine whether I still speak it very well or as well as I did at the time. No, because I don't encounter individuals who speak the language. So somehow, but I've not forgotten it.
Okay.
I've not. So I'm very sure if I should go with you to Norway, I will very quickly
pick it up.
Recapture pick it up again and speak, and you will have to start. So we store it somewhere. Okay. And it becomes dormant more or less, and but you pick up the fluency again when we start speaking it. So we have to put ourselves more frequently in the context where we use the language.
Yeah. Okay. So Prof, as of now, I know that you speak English because we've just had this conversation in English, but what other languages are you quite fluent in?
Ewe.
Okay.
I speak Ewe.
Yes.
And well, I have passive knowledge of Akan.
Okay.
And Dangme.
Okay. So can you say anything in Ewe or Dangme for me? Just
your name is Amafa, eh?
No, my name is Ohima.
Oh, okay. So I thought I'm speaking to Amafa.
No, Amafa is our producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So never you mean?
Sorry?
What language do you want me to use?
Anything that you feel comfortable with.
Oh, fine. So, Ndinami, Nasalau, Agbanya Nkaka, Punto, Badudonchi.
I don't understand anything.
I was talking about, I'm greeting the audience that today is the fine day to be speaking about speaking languages.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so Charles, what about you? Okay, so you speak Mandarin. So say something in Mandarin. The only thing I can say is ni hao. That's all. So can you say something in Mandarin for us?
As in anything?
Yeah, just anything.
Oh. Okay. 你好，大家们，我祝你们身体好。今天是我来参加那个语言会。如果你会说不同的语言，还是有几个语言你会说，可以帮助你，然后而且很重要。
Wow, what does it sound like, Ga?
Yes.
It does, right? And what did you just say? Because you have to translate.
Okay, I just told them I wish everyone good health, and today I've participated in this bilingual program, and I think when you speak different languages, it really helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
Ah, bon, pour moi, je vais aussi parler un peu de français. Et je ne sais pas quoi dire, mais merci beaucoup, Charles, pour venir sur The AM Club. Et professeur, merci beaucoup pour venir sur The AM Club. I guess that's all I can say. Hello, Prof. Thank you very much for joining us on this conversation.
Thank you very much, too, for having me.
Okay, Charles, thank you very much for also joining us on this conversation. And today on Lifestyle Daily, we spoke about the advantages of being multilingual and how it can benefit you as a person. So if you're learning another language, just make sure that you do learn it very well and you excel at it because it does come with its benefits as well. So that's about it for Lifestyle Daily. And my name is Edma Ohima Lawen. Coming up next, we have today's hashtag with Miss Drew, so do stay with us. But before I leave you, this is a song by MHD featuring Jaju, and it's called Baby.